noise.
Welcome back to the next part of this Truth and Rhythm episode. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you've already done so, please share it with friends. Also become a member by joining Truth and Rhythm on Patreon, or consider donating at funkinstuff.net. Thank you so much for your interest and support. Enjoy.
We went to LA about two months ago, and we were ready doing the show.
First of all, it was a totally Hispanic crowd, and all of them were young,
like 18,
19,
20,
in that era right there.
Era. We came out doing the show. We were just wondering how we're going to attack
Lord,
these kids.
I hope they know this stuff.
You know, and
they knew
every single word. We just put the mic down.
We didn't even. If we started out singing, and they were over singing us, and I was like, "What?" And so when I stuck the mic out, they went berserk, and they knew all the lyrics to every song that we sang.
Wow, that must have blown you guys away.
Yeah, we looked at each other and said,
wow, it was an amazing.
We gotta work like this. Okay.
Another thing that I have to say that was amazing to me was that this guy that is a teacher called Cavin and I, and he said, "I want you guys to come down to the school." He says, "I teach first graders, and we're having each grade in this school is a magnet school." So he was like, each grade has put together a musical production for their grade. And my first graders chose Don't Stop the Music. And I would like for you guys to come and hear them and cheer them on. And Cavin and I went, and we sat in that audience, and from the moment they started singing and dancing that song, we cried. It was amazing how those 6-year-olds sang Don't Stop the Music and did their own production and dance to it. That was a moment in time that I don't think I'll ever forget.
Yeah,
How long ago was that? I'm sorry.
Music was different.
That was about 2 years ago.
Wow.
Music was different, but and accepted different back in the day. So I look at things now, and I go, "Oh, I know it. I know what this was." And it's not as emotionally moving as it used to.
That's now, Cavin, he said it better than I've heard it in a long time. They asked, what's the difference in today's music and music from our generation? I think ours was more charged with emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I think ours was more, our generation was more closer to the heart.
Now you look at you had Luther Vandross, Whitney Houston.
All these crooners.
All these crooners that came through.
And they just touch people's heart. And you got Jeffrey Osborne, you got all these people that touched, and they knew how to sing and touch the heart when they did it.
And now you got them where they just make you dance.
And you have the Marvin Gaye era. Exactly.
And you get a chant going on.
It's all about the beat, the boogie, and the beat now.
But see, it used to be where a certain chord change.
The chord progressions themselves
and it's not
mess with your emotions.
Not only in R&B, in rock and roll and everything.
Every pop, every
it
which way, they had
snakes its ways.
songs that messed with your emotions.
Right. Yeah, connected that way. I just had an interesting conversation with a musical friend earlier today because there's a documentary coming out on Milli Vanilli, that whole scandal. You remember with them where they didn't really do the music and all that, and they got the Grammy.
Right.
Yeah. And I was saying that, back then it seemed so shocking, but nowadays it doesn't even seem that shocking to me because of how music's gotten, where it's all about presentation and production and having, the creativity and the musicality has taken a back seat. So it's unfortunate, for those of us that really know what it can be,
Right. Absolutely. That was, again, the thing that drew me to Gladys Knight was that I could feel her soul through the songs. There's a song that she did on this movie, The Family That Prays. It was a Tyler Perry movie. It actually, I think it was a country song before she sang it. I think Dolly Parton might have done it. But I Hope You Dance is the name of the song. One day when you get a chance, pull up I Hope You Dance by Gladys Knight. This has been out for like a year or so, I think. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The Family That Prays.
Been out long.
Maybe a little longer.
Sounds like a little bit what Whitney Houston did with I Will Always Love You. That was a Dolly Parton song, and she
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it shows me the way that music is so universal that it can affect so many different people, different types of people, the same music.
There's people who don't even know or have never thought about a Sly Stone. Yet, every time, everyday people comes up, thank you.
Different strokes.
Different.
It's just something. It does something to you.
It affects every.
Yeah.
We
Alisa,
walked up on a stage and they had a band playing, and they just wanted us to do something, and we were scared they was gonna mess up. Don't stop the music. So we found something else to do and walked up on that stage and started doing Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself, and the crowd lost it.
Yeah, those never get old. I'm curious. So, did either of you ever meet two of the idols you mentioned? Did you ever meet Gladys Knight? And have you ever met Stevie Wonder?
Definitely.
Yes, and she was just a rose in a garden, the most beautiful soul that you can ever think.
Matter of fact, when we met her, I think you made her commit to singing "Happy Birthday."
She called my daddy. My daddy was born in 1897. My daddy was the reason that I had a chance to hear Gladys Knight, because he would listen to the soul channels for me. Anyway, his birthday was coming, and I asked Gladys to call him and sing Midnight Train to Georgia. That was his favorite song. And she made my daddy cry. But she called from an airport and sang happy birthday to my dad.
Wow.
Nice lady.
I love her.
Have you met Stevie?
Oh, absolutely.
Stevie.
I
couldn't stop till I met Stevie.
Stevie said, "Where that boy that sang that part, that line like that?"
Come sing that line. Come sing
that line, boy.
Can you play the bass?
And then one day we went to see him in concert, and we went backstage. And when Cavin walked in the room, he was sitting at his keyboard, and Cavin started singing. He said, "There that boy is again. Come on over here and play that." And so we started playing it. We did three-handed Don't Stop the Music. Cavin playing bass on one hand, Stevie playing something, and I'm playing something else on the same keyboard.
Yeah, we met him. He's been very pleasant.
It's awesome.
My whole life, I can just say, because I sneaked in in the theater down and saw him rehearsing. I couldn't figure out how he did that.
He is just as amazing in person as he is on the records. He really is.
Yeah, I shot Hooky that day.
I got to say on that Guilty record, one track, Let the Music Play On, I think should have been a hit.
Oh
I
yeah,
think so too.
yeah.
That was
so
totally
too.
overlooked.
Yeah,
I think
we
so
did
too.
that while we were
But
in Europe.
again, if Lonnie didn't produce it, he didn't put no money behind it. It was like, well, what are we supposed to do with it? Because he wasn't giving us money either. But we kept writing them, we kept putting them out, and just hoping that people would love them enough to buy them.
Those are the kind of songs I was telling you about a few minutes ago when I said there's a lot of stuff that got left in the editing room.
Yeah, well, people definitely need to go back for tracks like that. Are there one or two other gems you feel like were overlooked in your guys' catalog that you think people should go back and really give a closer listen?
Yeah, like Come to Me, the ballad Come to Me. Lonnie didn't want any ballads released.
Thought you had to just release
It had to be a dance song. And so any of our ballads were just completely overlooked. And that is sad.
Would you still mix them into your live set though?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll go to a place on you in our lives. Now that's what we kind of like to do. Our gigs like where we can go where we want to go, and that's where we do a lot of our songs that we do, like Endless Love. That should have been the wedding song of the year.
Oh, Innermost Feelings.
Innermost Feelings.
Did you hear that one? There was a guy, Kenny Rich, that brought that song to Cavin and said, Cavin, I hear you singing that song. That was one that they let me play the piano on, and Cavin sang. And I just kind of did background with him on that one. That song is close to our heart, and Lonnie wouldn't do anything with that as well. That is an amazing song, Innermost Feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Just so people know, though, after '86, you guys didn't put out more records. What was happening in your world at that point?
86, we were trying to,
like in the late 80s, what happened?
Yeah, we were beginning to try to figure out what else can we do? Because again, our bubble was busted. We were starting not to believe anymore. And every avenue that we were trying to take to get out, Lonnie thwarted it. He made it where it was not, it just, he would make the statement, I've got money put aside for things like this here. So you don't want to do this. And so there was a lot of decisions that had to be made, and survival. Still trying to survive. Didn't want to come home and feel like we were failures.
So when you're out there on the road, what are one or two of the most unforgettable experiences you've had performing for folks? I mean, you mentioned that recent experience, which sounded amazing, but let's say back when, you were at peak popularity, what was maybe a show that just stands out to you for some reason?
Two shows. One for me is Houston, Texas.
Greek Theater.
Is that a Greek?
Yeah.
Where did you almost fall off the stage?
Radio City.
Thank you.
The Radio City, you ever been there?
I'm familiar with it. I've not been inside it.
Oh my God. It is a humongous.
It's the whole thing is staged, sort of. And and as the many acts you have on, they just drop a stage. To
get to the next act instead of having
act.
to reset up the stage every time.
And
they told you not to go any further than a certain spot. Don't go any further.
Then they stuck a spotlight in your eye.
And you couldn't see how far you were going out. And he almost walked off the stage into that big pit.
Actually, Kirk Franklin did.
It's the same thing that Kirk did that time. But he got spared because there was a monitor right there, and he grabbed that monitor, and it stopped him from falling off. But wow, was that an experience? But that was also one of the best shows that we had.
Houston, as you spoke of.
Houston, Texas was amazing. It was when we left the stage, and you know, Charlie Wilson and the Gap Band, they had electrifying performances as well. I mean, just electrifying the audience. But when we left that stage in Houston, and we were saying, "All right, y'all ready for the Gap Band?" They were like, "No, Yarbrough and Peoples." I almost fell out. That was one amazing moment. Yes.
It was flooding.
It was flooding, and it was a sold out building.
18,000 with the building.
Yes.
Wow.
Those were a couple of.
Well, I was wondering if you had a little bit of a friendly rivalry with the Gap Band, because I got to share with people, if they don't know, that, you know, your tune actually knocked Burn Rubber out of the top spot.
Yeah.
It did.
It did not with us, but it did happen, and we could tell. I'm gonna say it like the kids say, they was acting funny.
Yeah, they did. Listen, they did get a little funny acting a little bit, but it was like Lonnie was saying, man, this is the people talking. This is not me talking. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
That's really cool. So, what project are you guys the most proud of, do you think?
From that era?
Yeah, which one of those projects?
I think it's the album that has Feel So Good on it, because we were allowed to do a lot more producing on that album.
Yeah. The Feel So Good era.
Yeah.
I think you said 84 or something like that. That
was for us, I think, the best time, even though it didn't get as promoted as the first record. As a matter of fact, Lonnie didn't. Okay, the record came out in November of 1980. That's when they released it. It didn't show up on the charts until starting January of 81. Lonnie and them didn't even start putting money behind Don't Stop the Music until Frankie Crocker broke it on BLS in New York.
It went.
And when Frankie broke it and it started taking off, Lonnie said, let's get this record. It's taking off on its own. And that's when he did it. He didn't really expect us to hit like that.
He didn't have time for the Gap.
So that made him have to, he couldn't do his concentration both ways. And he was a small company. So when Don't Stop the Music, he had to drop what he was doing with the Gap Band and get that real fast. And that made us go past them.
I saw you guys did some singles in 2013 and 2015. They were strong. I thought they were really good. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah. What
the gospel?
Yeah, those I don't have the titles here. I forgot what the titles were, but that's when they were out, 2013, 2015.
Well, Pleasure Zone.
Pleasure Zone.
I'm in.
And then a gospel song called I'm In, I'm All the Way In.
Yeah, they were strong. I mean, they sounded as good as a major record recording to me, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We just needed a little bit more oomph and a little bit more something behind it. Oh,
we need a way to release this for what we have right here. That
we've got a whole nother CD here ready to go. That is amazing. It's amazing. And another thing I have to say is
it's got to be put out. When it comes out, it needs to come out with
something behind
a
it.
hooker. Something has to really hook or something. They got to be calling me old or something. It's got to be hooker that's got to be in that
Well,
release.
you know, something else that we've had a chance to do. I know the time is going on here, but I would like to say this. We wanted to be able to run the gamut of the entertainment spectrum, the whole thing. And we were blessed to be able to come in and start out doing clubs, get that under our belt, and then we ended up making records. We ended up doing a whole lot of television shows and whatever, and then we ended up doing amazing plays like this play Blind Lemon Blues. We did it off Broadway. We had amazing actors like Oba Babatunde to give us, you know, to give us pointers on how to act, because we had no idea really how to act. We had King Babatunde, who was actually the director, and we had Liz Michael, who had been in many movies, and they were actually coaching us with what we were doing. And we ended up, that was an amazing adventure with that play.
Well, let's just say those plays, because we had just as much exposure with Phyllis Hyman, Billy Preston.
Yeah, Cavin was in in a play called Blues Bar. I was just a little side thing, but you were actually in it. Blues Bar with Phyllis. So we got a little bit of exposure and experience with doing these plays. And then the last part of what we were saying we wanted to do, we were finally able to be in a couple of movies. And so we've done a movie, The Rings That Bind Us, and it's already out on Amazon Prime and something else she told us, and I forgot. But we did a short movie called The Bones, the Flesh and Bones.
Flesh and Bones.
And then we've done a Christmas movie called A Miracle Christmas. So we've gotten 3 movies under our belts now, not blockbusters, but 3 movies under our belts, and there's still more to come. I believe there's still more to come.
Wow. So how does acting differ from, performing? Do you think music?
It's mixed in there all. It's all the same.
Take 2 and take 3.
Yeah.
When you're doing it live, you don't have no takes. It's just you better get it right the first time. But you do have a chance to make things right when you're doing the movies. You got different takes.
Well, I'm not Denzel, but I'm close to that.
Oh, heaven, Lord.
I'm close to that.
And then the producers and directors are amazing in these movies as well. Giving you guidance on how to do things and how to make things work. That's an amazing job, man.
And you're able to do that from Dallas, or you have to travel to do those things?
Well, we start here, and we have to we have to travel with the
she's talking about the movies.
The productions. Yeah, we were able to do some of the movies.
For the most part, we've been able to do it.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Wow. Did you ever imagine that you'd be on stage acting or in front of a camera doing that?
Yeah.
We hoped. We definitely hoped.
We hoped.
But for it to actually come to fruition was an amazing and awesome moment for both of you.
It is when it happens, because it's like yet going on.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank
part
you.
of chapter to your amazing career.
Thank you.
If somebody asked you now, Y&P, what makes the sound distinctive or identifiable? What would you say?
About Y&P?
What makes our sound distinctive?
We'll hurry up and get something out. We won't be able to say no. We have We have a driving, sexy, funky bass line to our grooves. For instance, we have the Solid by Ashford and Simpson. We recorded, we redid it. And it's just, you can tell it's us by the bass line.
Yeah, that bass, that intense bass continues to follow us.
And then of course, the voice of an angel
Helping Jesus.
helps us out a whole lot right up front when
You're so
we
sweet.
put her on there. So, hey, that's what it is.
You know, and I'd like to add that Cavin's the original background in doing pop and all the stuff that he was doing mixed in with the gospel sound of what I was doing, because while he was with them, I was doing gospel in the church. And I think it's a combination of those two together that makes our sound, actually. Because he has the funk, pop, rock kind of thing.
Gospel.
No, I'm talking about your sound. His sound is that. And then mine is gospel. And I think it's the two of those mixed together that makes that sound.
Yeah, well, when the church meets a groove, that's about as good as it gets, you know?
I think so.
Yeah.
I really think so. Because when you think about even the way that Paulina played the so you know it's almost a gospel thing, but it's also an island kind of and a Hispanic kind of thing right there.
Good, yeah.
So I think it's those different things combined together versus just one sound that makes it what it is.
If it was a bass, it would be that. And so if you listen to a lot of
everything that they're playing nowadays has that beat.
Dumb commercial, everybody has it, you know, but you can't copyright a beat.
But that is one of our songs that we have on our new CD. It's just simply called The Beat. And you'll get plenty of it.
Yeah. When will we get plenty of it?
Well, you know what? We're doing it ourselves, and that's what's taking so long to get it done.
The launching is
it's like you get a little bit of money, you go in and you take care of one song, and you come back and say, okay, now let's go get some more money so we can do this next one. And so that's what's taking so long, is we're doing it ourselves.
And then there's the other part, man. We're Yarbrough and Peoples, right? Everybody knows that, and it's all good. But we had a record out, you know, that's been pushed in some years. So we have to, our new launching is gonna have to be like we've been here all the time.
Well, yeah, we got to get some backers. We got to get somebody to push us.
It's gonna be like we've been here all the time. You didn't know, you know, that kind of
And that tribute to Ashford and Simpson is on there too, by the way.
Yeah.
Solid.
Okay. Well, I look forward to it. I think everyone watching and listening to this is going to very much look forward to that. How can they stay, you know, dialed in and kind of, you know when it may be coming?
www.yarbrough&peoples.net. That's our website.
Yep.
And we're also Yarbrough. Well, each one of us is like Alisa Peoples on Facebook, Cavin Yarbrough on Facebook.
And we answer ours.
And we're also YMP81 on what is it, Twitter? Instagram. So we're there.
You got the bases covered. Yeah. Did you guys ever tour with SOS Band?
We did some dates with them. We didn't actually do tours, but we did dates, and that was before Mary got sick. And
Okay.
we would do a little thing like people would always try to make us be competition with each other. So when we walk out on the stage, we did this little thing where we were doing a competitive move and then we'd end up hugging each other. And it was pretty cool.
That is cool. I was just curious on that one because you guys were both just masters of that sort of mid-tempo, funky thing, the female vocal prominent, you know? So it's a
That was a Jimmy Jam, Terry
blend.
Lewis, man. I tell you, that was another.
And then you know what happened was we had the kind of beat, but then Sagiti took it to Solar.
Mm-hmm.
He took it to the.
But Jimmy and Jimmy and Terry came to the Total to do something with us, and Lonnie Simmons wouldn't let us do it. And it was like he brought us in front of them, but he was like telling us, you better say no. You better say no.
But Dick Griffey would say yes, and then they take that beat. Jimmy and Terry came to town, that was when they broke up, and they said, we got your next production on Yarbrough and Peoples. We got it.
Lonnie would not let us do it because they wouldn't give him all of the publishing. Yeah. So he made us look like the culprits there. But we love Jimmy Jam. And
Cavin, what's your favorite funk record?
Ask me my favorite funk record. Lord have mercy. I'm the wrong person to ask that question to. I'm like Sly and that era. I'm like a Sly Stone. Of course, I told you Stevie. First Stevie every time. But my funk record, and see, he has so many varieties.
Oh, you know, like the Isley Brothers, they did a lot of funk back in the day too.
They were in my mind. I was thinking Chris Jasper might be someone that you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they did. So I remember being in college and going across the campus walking, and Isley Brothers is all over the place. I remember.
Yeah,
that was my funk.
I was Earth, Wind and Fire. That they still got songs that move me on there. But,
yeah, Larry Dunn on the keys on that.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. So wrapping this up, are you guys still doing shows? You touring? How can people keep up with that on the website too?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We try to keep it up to date with what we're doing. We'll be out in California in October. We've got dates coming up. So yes, please check that website, and that we'll keep you informed of what we're doing. We're also writing a book, and it's called When the Music Stops. So we will be talking about those times when you didn't hear us, what was going on, in our lives.
When the music stopped.
When the music stopped in our lives. And it wasn't necessarily the music that you hear on the radio. It was actually the music of our lives.
All right. So you think 2024, 2025, the book might happen?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I think that early 2025 is when you're going to hear it.
All right. Fantastic. Wow. Well, Alisa and Cavin, thank you so much for sharing all this.
Thank you. And thank you for your patience with getting us.
See, that's my favorite funk record. I've got George Clinton. I don't know.
Flashlight. La, da, da, dee. I know you remember those.
Of course. I'm a huge P-Funk fan. I don't know if you can see back there, that gold record is Mothership Connection.
Ooh, yeah, I gotta turn it around so you can see some of our little I'm gonna turn it. Yeah. Let me see here.
Yeah, I get the little tour now.
Yeah, just a few of them. Dawn Silva just did a new book, and it's called The Funk Queen.
I got it. Yeah. Have you
Somebody
read it?
called
Have you
us.
read it?
I read some of it. I'm in there. Me and Cavin are in there. I was like, yay! And it's good stuff too.
I got a better sense of interesting perspective on Charlie reading that book.
Oh my God. Did you read it?
Yeah, yeah,
Woohoo! This
yeah.
is the No Way Out album or CD that Puff Daddy did.
Ah,
It sold 7 million. Or he
wow.
did. This is stuff like Black Radio Magazine, Jet Magazine, and that is the Heartbeats heart
That's
shape record.
yeah.
And then even Alicia Keys when they did it's called Gangster Lovin'. So this is just one of our little rooms with little accolades that we have in here from our career and going on stage and stuff. Did I show you enough?
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you for that. And on behalf of all the viewers and listeners and fans everywhere, thank you so much for all the music over the years.
God bless you all.
God bless you.
And thank you all for the support down through the years. We couldn't do it without
It lasted
you.
without you.
Never could we. And thank you so very much.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Truth in Rhythm. A big thank you goes out to our guest as well as to you, the viewer and listener. Also, much gratitude to Pleasure for supplying the show's funky opening and closing music. As a reminder, you can always access the complete list of linked shows by episode at funkandstuff.net. I urge you to support this program and receive the extra benefits along with that by subscribing to the Funk and Stuff channel on YouTube and sharing it with funk, R&B, and jazz lovers, joining Truth and Rhythm's membership program at Patreon, submitting a donation at funkandstuff.net, buying Everything is on the One, the First Guide to Funk book at Amazon, shopping at the Funky Things store for cool merchandise at funkandstuff.net, and linking through funkandstuff.net for all of your Amazon purchases. In addition, if you're an artist or anyone seeking proven, results-oriented professional marketing, PR, writing, or editing consultation or production, check out the media services section at funkandstuff.net. Also, I encourage you to drop me a line at scottg@funkandstuff.net. I love the feedback, suggestions, guest requests, appearance and sponsorship inquiries, and just talking about my favorite subject, groove-based music. For now, and as always, this is Scott Dr. GX Goldfine saying, keep on vibing to the rhythm of the one.